On key press event, how it works? When you enter any value, it will not process your current value. It will be processing the old value. So suppose Apple is already there under the text box. So I press 1. So it will not process 1. It will process only the Apple. Next, after this, next is called 2, 3. So when I enter 3, it is displaying 2. When I enter 4, it's displaying 3. When I enter 5, it's displaying 4. So it will not take the exact current value. It will be taking the previous value, old value, which was exist already under the input element. Now create the second box, second text box, where we will keep the on key press will convert into on key up, on key up, on key up. Change the event also on key up. Okay, on key up. On key up event, what it will say? On key up event, it will say, let's call the same function with the same thing, everything, just change the event. Then we'll understand the difference what is happening. On key up event will say, it will pass when you leave the key. We press it. After pressing once, we leave it. Once the key will start coming up, then it will process. It will take your old value as well as it will take the new value. So we'll go here. Apple 1. You can see it is printing Apple 1. Apple 2. It's printing Apple 2. 1, 2. Right? Apple 3 is printing old value as well as current value. It will process both. It will process both old value as well as new value. But when you press the any key, I hold it. For example, I press the 4. I'm holding still. My key is not up. If the key is not up, event will not fire. Once I leave the key, then event will fire. Then you can see this many values got pressed. Right? Let me press call 5. See what is happening? 5 is going on. I have just hold the key. Once I leave it, then alert will come. That is called on key up. Right? On key up. Once we leave the key, then the event will fire. Not in the beginning, at last. We have one more similar event. So difference is what? On key up will take the old value and new value both. On key press will take only old value. It will not take the new value. Compared to both, on key up is more useful. On key down. Same like on key up. Same like on key press. Okay, so hope added. Let us check now. On key down event, on key down. On key down, this sequence should look similar. You can see as you press the 1, it says only apple. It's not printing apple 1. If I press 2, it will say apple 1. If I press 3, it will print apple 2. Press 4, it will print apple 3. So that is called as a on key down. On key down and on key press both work in the similar way. On key up is completely different. Come to code now. Write again another one called on focus. On focus. On focus. On focus. Let us see how it is going to happen. Unfocus will be little different. As you click under the text box, alert will happen. Again, you type anything, no problem at all. When the cursor will come in, then the event will fire. When the cursor will come in, then event will fire. That is called on focus. When you type anything, no problem at all. When the cursor will come in, then event will fire. That is called on focus. On blur is opposite of this. On blur is opposite of this. On blur is opposite of this. Okay. Now let us see how on blur is going to work. So on focus says once your cursor will come inside, then event will happen. The first one is Apple. I just click here, message came. Let's call on focus. On focus. If you type anything, no problem. On focus. Second one is on blur. When we went inside, no problem. When we type inside, no problem. When we click outside, once the cursor will go out, you can see I click outside, then event happen. So on blur when the cursor will go out, on focus when the cursor will come in. right? On blur will fire when the cursor will go out. On focus will fire when the cursor will come in. Okay, check once, homework for all. Able to identify the difference? Okay, go next. We have next event. Let me see once in the list. Keyboard related should not be anything. Keyboard related 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 we have. Next we have on submit that we are going to see under the form validation. We'll see on load. In the same file, write one more on load. That is especially for body tag. On load equal to on load equal to call the same function and write inside welcome back. This is page load. Anything to write the message that should. Okay. Let's look next. Next, after this, we have more important points. That is how communication will happen now. Sending the value from HTML to JavaScript and JavaScript to HTML. So in that case, we required create next file under the data binding. Give the file name call data binding 1.html. Data binding 1.html. In data binding one file, we will understand first difference of inner HTML and inner text. How these two keyword is going to work. Okay. In HTML, you have two type of tag. One you have input tag and another one you have output tag. Through input tag, we collect the input from user, and through output tag, we display the information to user. Now JavaScript says I have two challenges. One, how to deal with the input tag. And second, how to deal with the output tag. Okay. How to deal with the input tag as well as how to deal with the output tag. So in this case again, input tag and output tag, two property we have. One is called inner text, another one is called inner HTML. So inner text and inner HTML both are designed to communicate with the output tag. Both are designed to communicate with the output tag. Dot value is designed to communicate with the input tag. Using dot value, we can communicate with the input tag. But using inner text and inner HTML, we can communicate with only output tag. Now, if this is the case, then question is where to use inner text and where to use the inner HTML. We'll create one small example and we'll understand quickly. So let's go. HTML head script body H1 difference between inner text and inner HTML. Inner text and inner HTML. Now come next, write a button, inner text. Write one more button, dot inner HTML. Inner text as well as inner HTML. Now come down below, write one BR, one more BR, then one division, ID equal to anything, MSJ. ID equal to MSJ. Okay. Now on button click, first button click, you will call one function. Second button click, call the second function. Okay, inner text, inner HTML. Come next. We have to write two functions. Function one, alert. Hi. Function two, hello. Sequence. Button click, both the alerts are coming or not? Hope you are getting the alert. Okay, so we'll run this file. Should look like this. First button click, hi. Second button click, hello. So both alert is coming means both the functions are getting called properly. Both functions are getting called late. Next task is to understand a inner text what it will do and inner HTML what it will do. So create a global variable. Create a global variable where data equal to h1 open and write call welcome to JavaScript. Close that h1 and write it is working. Create a variable that is holding text as well as HTML tags both. Text as well as HTML tags both. Okay, then next after this come down, write in this one line document dot write. Document dot write this particular data variable. Okay, document dot write, if we write it will mislead us. So we'll understand like this. Document dot get element by ID. Document dot get element by ID. Okay, document dot get element by ID, which ID msg dot inner text equal to data variable. I'll explain you. Inner text meaning this one. Document dot get element by ID, what we are writing and what is the meaning of that. Inner HTML. Okay, hope written. Let us check now. Document, what it represent? Document represent your current page. Document represent your current page. In current page, you are going to search one element. In current element, you are going to search one element. Now, element meaning is what? All the HTML tags what we have written, like suppose for head, body, H1, button, BR, division, all are called as a tag in the term of HTML. But in the term of JavaScript, this is called as a element. Okay, what's called? It's called as a element. Now these elements are of multiple types. So JavaScript has given a function called getElement by ID. Like JavaScript is one language, HTML is another language. From JavaScript, you want to send some data to HTML, and from HTML, you want to send some data to JavaScript. So in HTML, there will be a lot of tags. So how the JavaScript will come to know where to send the data and where to receive the data? So in that case, JavaScript will work based on ID, based on class, based on tag name. So if we write based on tag name, then in one page there will be multiple similar tags. Division can be many times. Again, confusion will happen. We have to use the array concept. If we write based on class, class also can be many times. Again, array concept will come. Then another option is called based on ID. So ID says like in one page, one ID you write one time. JavaScript happily it will communicate with a particular ID. JavaScript has given the function getElement by ID. GetElement by ID function is going to search in current page message element is exist or not. MSG element is exist or not. If the MSG element is exist, then using inner text property, send some content. Okay, under the content what we have? H1 as well as text. In the second function again you are writing, you are trying to search the same element. Those element whose ID is MSG. If MSG ID is available, if MSG ID is found, then what to do? Using inner text, assign some value. Using inner HTML, assign some value. So both the place data variable is same, but Function 1 is sending through the inner text and function 2 is sending through the inner HTML. Okay, target is same. Target is only one element, that is called MSG. Okay, but while sending, the resource is one is called inner HTML and one is called inner text. Now we need to get to know inner text how it will assign the data and inner HTML how it will assign it. Okay, so we'll run this file and come to the browser, and inner text when we run, you can see here your H1 is coming like as a text. H1 is coming like as a text. But when you run the inner HTML, H1 is working like as a H1 tag. So this is the difference. Inner text will display your content just like as a text, whereas inner HTML display the content not like as a text. HTML will have like as HTML. Correct? So you check once. Let me know also your page is running or not. Okay, so working. Inner text, inner HTML, we got idea. Whenever we have some data in the form of text, whenever we have some data in the form of text and you want to send to the browser, you will use the inner text. When you have the data combination of HTML code, right, as well as some text, then you will use the inner HTML. Inner HTML in those scenario where the data is in the form of text as well as HTML tag. If your content is holding the HTML tag, then you will use the inner HTML. If your content is holding only text, then you will use the inner text. Okay, so these two we are going to use frequently. Come to next file. Next file. Okay. Next file you write data binding 2.html. Data binding 2.html. I'm trying to explain you the inner HTML and inner text. Question should not be why we use that. Question is what is the difference between both. So difference I'm trying to explain you. Okay. Where to use, that is the next matter. You can use without HTML tag also. But if you are going to use without HTML tag, then use inner text. If you are going to use with HTML tag, then use the inner HTML. Or if you want to display the HTML tag in the browser, then also use the inner text. Okay. Now create next file. This file is going to help you out. HTML add script function 1 follow the body tag h1 javascript inner text and dot value example. Inner text and dot value example. Okay, inner text and dot value example. So for that, just create a place where you want to display the data. H1 or maybe division itself. ID equal to I given call MSG. By default, I'll write here call no data. No data. Then write a button call so hello on click. Write a function call 1 on click. We'll write a function call 1. Now let's go ahead. Write one text field also. Enter name. Input type equal to text. ID equal to, suppose I wrote call fname. ID equal to fname. Okay. So you are going to enter the value under the text box. And on button click, that text box value should display under the division. So how to do that? Input is happening under the text box and output should come under the division. Hope written. Now let us check once, run the file. See what is the UI first. The UI is something like this. Okay, this one we can change. Below you are written called div, convert into H2. It will look big font size. And plus surrounding little margin will get applied. Okay, now we'll go here and we will write the JavaScript code. What is the target? Target is when you enter your name here and click on show value, that value should appear under the H2. For example, write here one fixed value also. I wrote a fixed value called Bangalore. Go to the JavaScript now. A variable A equal to document dot means the current page, get element, search element by ID, search element by ID, which ID, fname. If it is exist, then take their value. So for all the input tag, you are going to use the value property. And for all the output tag, you are going to use either inner text or inner HTML. Okay, next after this, alert this value first. Okay, next after that, alert this A, alert the A. Enter the value under the text box. See now how it is coming. So we'll go here. What is the by default value? Bangalore. click on show value, alert is coming in Bangalore. So you are able to take the value from the text box. You are able to take the value from text box. You are able to take the value from the text box and store under the variable called A. Now, question is how we have taken the value from text box, using which property? That is called dot value property. And we want to assign to H2. So again, how to assign to H2? Because H2 is the output tag. Document dot get element by ID, which ID? MSG dot inner text equal to A. Okay, document dot get element by ID, MSG dot inner text equal to A. Inner text equal to A. So it will take the value from the text box, assign to A variable, and from A variable again it will assign to where? MSG. So you will take the value from text box and you will assign to the H2. Try once, this should work. Something like this. When we click on show value, alert will come. After alert, Bangalore will appear. So you are taking from the input and displaying under the output. So from input, how you took? With the help of dot value property. In output, how we assign? Using the inner text property. So work for how many people? They should say yes, no. Right? Okay. Good. We'll go ahead next. Alert, if you remove, it will look smooth. If you remove alert, it will look smooth. Something like this. As you click, it will come. Bangalore, Karnataka, save, it will print here. Something, it will print here. So whichever the value you enter, that value will be displayed below successfully. Next example will be similar, but event will be different. Next example, process will be same, take the value and display, but the event will be different. On key press, or maybe on key up, or maybe on key down, something. Okay, so copy the same, paste in the next file, save the file as data binding 3. Data binding 3.html. Okay, let's copy that, paste it in the third example. 2 was something on click. In 3, button is not required. Remove the button. In the third one, remove the button. And in text box, on key up, on key up equal to, you will call the function call 1. Okay. On key up, call the function call 1. Let's run the file. On key up, what it will do? When you press a key and leave, function 1 will come. Function 1 will take the value of text box and immediately it will display under the MSG. So this is going to happen on key press immediately. As soon as you press the key and leave the key, it will happen immediately. The data binding 3 file, only we are calling here on key up. Button we have removed. Sequence. Something like this. We'll go here. And in this, we can type anything. That will come. Delete also it will go. Happening. If I press 8 and hold it. Because it is which event? On key up. Once I leave the key, then only it will happen. So once I leave the key, by then all the process is done. You will see how much values came. So that is called on key up. On key up, what it says? On key up says like when you are pressing the key and leaving the key, as soon as your key will come up, event will get fired. And in that, what you want to do, that is your business functionality. Okay, wrote it. Next, we want to understand the H2 you are printing. Under the H2, data comes from where? From JavaScript. How the JavaScript is sending the value? Because in current page, there can be multiple H2. So question is, in which H2 you want to send the data? What is the element where you are sending the data? So JavaScript is pointing as of now with the help of ID. So how it is pointing? Which function is that? That is helping to identify by ID. So function name is this one. Get element by ID. Get element by ID function will look into the current document, will search in current document, where is the element whose ID is MSC. If it is found, then communicate. If not found, then it will give the error as a null. If found, then it will communicate, sending the value, receiving the value. In case if it is not found, ID is not exist, it will say null. Okay, means the what you are targeting to identify, that is not exist. Okay, save now. Save now, and let's look for the next one. After this H2, write a p tag, and under the p tag write ID equal to total. ID equal to total. ID equal to total. Next, let's go ahead. Right below document dot get element by ID. Which ID? Total. Dot inner text equal to e dot length. E dot length. Okay. Document dot get element by ID. Total dot inner text equal to e dot length. A dot length. Check now. How many text character you are going to enter? It will give the length of that. So 9 character Bangalore and 1 space. Karnataka. Happening. Okay, so how many character you type? It keep displaying the length of that below. Right? So when it is now, you can say on key up. As soon as you leave your key after pressing something, the value of the text box, gone to JavaScript, stored under a variable, and from that variable, you are sending the length one place, and from the same variable, you are sending the content one place. So in current page now, your JavaScript is communicating with the three element. One element to take the value and two element where to send the value. One place send the data and another place send the length. How many character the user has typed. Okay. Next, after this, user should not type more than 10 characters, or user should not type more than 15 characters. So what property you have? Remember, we have a property called max length 15. So it will not allow the user at any cost to type more than 15 characters. It will take maximum 15 characters. Okay, maximum 15 character user can type. More than that, it is not going to allow. Okay, clear? Check now. Only 15. More than 15, it says already. You can't do. Let's go for the next example. Data binding 4.html. Data binding 4.html. In data binding 4.html, you start from the HTML and follow the head tag. Use the script also and open the body and close the body. Write a button. H1 first you can write JavaScript and loop with HTML. JavaScript and loop with HTML. Write a button. Print 1 to 10. On click equal to call a function call 1, and from the 1 what output will come, that should go to the division ID equal to anything. right? Now write a button is written, function we need to write. Function one, function one, function one, okay. Next after this, hello, hello, can you hear me? Okay, let's go right here. A variable, write a variable. First write a for loop. Where I equal to 1, I less than equal to 10, I plus plus. I equal to 1, I less than equal to 10, I plus plus. Alert I. So once you click on this button, 1 to 10 alert will come continuous. Check now, alert is coming. How many times? N number of time. That start from 1 and it will go till 10. Continuous alert will come 1 to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, then 10. Right? We wanted this 1 to 10 should print in the browser. So to print 1 to 10 in browser, what we'll do? If you want to print in console, then we can write here console.log. Console.log. It will print in the console easily. Try once. In console, it will print easily. We'll go to the browser, do the right click, inspect element. and print 1 to 10. So you can see 1 to 10 is printing. So printing in the console is not difficult task. Just to given 1 to 10 console, it's printed in console. Now same data we want to display in the browser here in window. So how to do that? For that, we have to create one variable. Okay. And all 1 to 10, you need to keep assigning under this variable, data variable. Concatenation we have to do, not addition. If I'll keep data equal to 0, then addition will happen because parent variable will be integer, plus operator will work as a addition. So parent variable we made as a string. Now, if we do like this, data equal to data plus I. So what is the value of I? The value of I is 1, 2, 3, 4. So addition will not happen now. What will happen? Concatenation. After the loop, you write here document dot get element by ID. Which ID? MSG dot inner text equal to that data variable. So it's going to print 1 to 10 is going to print 1 to 10 in the same line. It will print you 1 to 10 in the same line. Check it. 1 to 10 will print in the same line. Printing in the same line. We want to print in the new line. So how to break the line in JavaScript in browser? To break the line, you will use the tag called VR. Now all the lines, what you are writing, it is not going to print in the same line. It will print in the new line. Okay, done. Next step, we'll see the problem, then we'll apply solution, will be more effective. Here. All are printing as a text. So you can change now to the inner HTML. HTML always will be capital. Okay. Inner HTML will be always capital. Will not use as a small. In text also T. Yes, in inner text also T will be capital. In inner HTML also